What's going on, game players? How are you brothers and sisters doing? I want to welcome you guys to Listener Feedback, episode number 30. And in this episode will be starring Free Fly Ferret, who has stopped by the show yet again to show his support. I really, truly appreciate it. I can't wait to get into your email, brother. And we're going to get into it very, very shortly. But up next this week, we also have Vaughn, who has sent in another voicemail message. Brother, I can't wait to get into your voicemail. I'm very excited about some of the questions that you asked, and I can't wait to answer them, brother. But with that being said, since it was just you two brothers that wrote in, of course, there's quite a bit of news and things, events that are happening this week. So after we go through the email and the voicemail, we're gonna go into a little bit of the gaming news that I'm sure you guys have already been aware of. But before we officially get the show underway, if you want to be a part of the next episode of Listener Feedback, you can do it two different ways. You can either call in at 443-216-9934 and let your voice be heard. Or you can email the show, and the email address is simply theanalogcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Also, if you guys wouldn't mind, if you enjoy, the content, if you guys, like what we do over here, if you would be so kind to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, it would be greatly and sincerely appreciated. Only if you have the time, though. So, with that being said, though, let's go ahead and jump into the first email of the show, which once again is coming from Free Fly Ferret. And the title of his email is Features of the Future. Oh, I like that. He says, "My brother, been busy as always, but still listen each and every week. I really appreciate you for that, Free Fly. Thank you, brother." He says, "What are some of my favorite features of this new generation?" He says, "Quick resume and load times are by far my favorites. Jumping back and forth between games with instant access is awesome." Now, you know what? Free Fly, I have to tell you this, brother. I was looking at, I still haven't, witnessed it for myself playing on the PS5 or the Series X, but I was over at Glovebox Gaming's YouTube channel. Shout out to that brother. And he had switched. He was playing Returnal at first. And then he was like, you know what? We're going to put that on pause, put that on ice for a minute, and we're going to switch over. He said, "I'm going to switch over to Resident Evil 8. And brother, when he switched over, that thing, it wasn't instant, but golly, it sure seemed like it. I mean, it seemed like it took no more than, I don't want to oversell it, but it seemed like to me, it took about 10 seconds. I don't even know if it was that long, maybe like 5 or 6 seconds to switch from one game to the next, and he was playing the game. It wasn't like it was a loading screen and then he had to load in. It was almost like instantly right back in the game he went. So it was absolutely amazing. Oh, and if you guys weren't aware, I was asking you guys on the last episode, what next generation features were you most excited about and enjoying the most. So this is where Free Fly Ferret was getting his answers from. So he's expressing his favorite things. Up next, he says, "New PS5 controller is pretty dope, and I look forward to seeing more companies utilize the haptic feedback." Once again, brother, another excellent, awesome feature. And we got some news. We're going to get into it a little bit where I think, my brother Free Fly, you're going to see a demo of this controller being used and what it's going to bring to the table. We've talked about it already on the podcast, but just a little later, we're going to talk about it a little bit more. So yeah, a lot of people, they've been enjoying the DualSense, saying that it just brings another level to another level of immersion to the gaming experience, and for some people, it's their favorite new feature. So I definitely hear you when you bring up the PS5 controller. I just can't wait to get my hands on it, man. I'm still trying to get a PS5 to no avail. Have I been able to get one or prevail? Whatever the word is, brother. I haven't got one yet, so I'm still trying to get it before Ratchet and Clank. But man, oh man, it's starting to get a little dark out here, Free Fly. Starting to get just slightly dark as I'm looking around, and hope seems like it's slipping away. But I'm going to keep on trying. He says, Game Pass. He says, I'm all in. Oh, he says, I'm all in on Game Pass. There are a few games I wanted to try on PS5, but was hesitant to spend $70. With Game Pass, I just download and try. I hear you, brother. Game Pass is an excellent brand new feature. Well, I don't know if it's a feature, but service, that Microsoft, Xbox, they offer to their fan base, to people in their ecosystem. I think it's awesome. On top of being able to have the chance of getting some of these huge blockbuster titles on day one. I mean, once again, it hasn't been confirmed, but it's the rumor. Battlefield 6 is supposed to be releasing in their day and date. We don't know if that's going to happen or not, but if it did, man, what a huge get for the service. We've already seen MLB 21 go into the service day one. Outriders has gone into the service as well. So, I mean, sky's the limit for what they're possibly able to get on top of their first party games. You can guarantee or be guaranteed that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be in there day one. Fallout 5 is going to be in there day one. Wolfenstein, the next one, is going to be in there day one, along with Halo and the many other titles that are coming down the pipe. So yeah, the service is absolutely amazing for the price point. The price point is incredible. Hopefully it doesn't go up anytime soon. But even if it went up to $25, I don't know. That might be getting a little too aggressive, Free Fly. $24.99 a month. But this is what I will say. What if that rumor that was circulating around a couple of months ago, what if Ubisoft games actually went into the service? Certain ones, I'm sure it's not going to be all, but their games, similar to how EA Access is, their games go into the service, some of them day and date, and then others at a later time. I think that would just bring the value of Game Pass up to another level. And does it need it? No, not at all. Not at all. Microsoft, Xbox, Phil Spencer, Mad Booty, all of the guys over there, they have a ton of games that will be releasing eventually. It's just the when. This making everybody, kind of get a little antsy and hesitant. And are they going to be great experiences? We don't need mediocre. Once again, Halo Infinite just can't be, it was okay. It was good. It has to be excellent. It has to be fantastic. And in order for Game Pass to continue to be successful, they have to make sure that the quality of the games don't go down but so far, because people will unsubscribe to your service. But yes, I definitely understand what you mean by that, Free Fly. It's definitely excellent. The service, what they offer you so much for really so little. So I agree. I think it's fantastic. Finishing up with your email though, brother, you said looking forward to Ratchet and Clank. Stay safe out there. Free Fly Ferret. Free Fly. Thank you, brother, for writing in again. Really appreciate it, brother. I know you're busy, man. I'm busy. It's that, man, the warm months, brother. It really brings a whole nother level to the industry that I'm in. Matter of fact, I gotta be leaving out of here in about 2 hours or so. So yeah, man, it's always on the grind, brother, constantly. But Free Fly, yeah, fantastic list. A really, really good list, man. Once again, for me, I just love the fact that they're able to give you these updated, updated features in some of the games, like The Last of Us Part 2 got the 60 frames per second. We also had it on Ratchet and Clank, that got 60 frames per second. Ghost of Tsushima, 60 frames. And then another thing that I really enjoy too, Free Fly Ferret, is that in some cases, not all, but in some cases, if you already own the game from last generation and they're coming out with, a PS5 version or a Series X or S version, you get that upgraded version for free because you already have the older version. I think that's awesome. That's phenomenal. Matter of fact, Saints Row the Third actually just came out yesterday. So if any of you guys have it on the PS4, Saints Row the Third remaster, came out on the PS5 and the Series X. So if you had the PS4 and the Xbox One version, man, get that updated version for free. Go ahead and pop it in and enjoy the 4K at 60 frames per second. So, it's just a whole nother level, Free Fly, of features that we've never had on console. I think this is the closest that console has come to, I would say, what PC guys have taken for granted for pretty much forever. You get a more updated video card or graphics card, it automatically comes with that upgraded version of the game. So yeah, I definitely think that this is fantastic, but I'm rambling at this point, Free Fly. But brother, hopefully you'll be able to write in again. I know you already said you're very, very busy. So whenever you get a chance to write in again, brother, trust me, I will always be looking forward to it, brother. Thank you again for this email, and thank you so much for tuning in every week, brother. It really, really means a lot to me. Trust me. But I'm moving on into the final, the brother who's going to take us out into the sunset when it comes to the listener feedback. I have to shout out again my brother Vaughn. So without further ado, Vaughn, take us out into the sunset, my brother.
What's going on, Kiaun? It's your boy Vaughn, checking in one more time. Hope you can hear me. I'm out and about, driving around. I'm picking up Biomutant. Want to know what you think about that. All the reviews on Biomutant are kind of average, but I'm picking it up anyway. I was hyped for the game. Started hearing a lot of reviews that were saying it was kind of middle of the road, average. But I'm still going to get it because I'm getting it at a discount. Getting it way below. I'm not picking it up brand new. I think brand new is going to be a pass or a rent. But getting it less than $30, for me, I'm getting it less than $10 actually. I think that it's okay. It's going to hold me over for Ratchet and Clank. So, picking it up. But anyway, last week, I brought up Wet. Couple things to mention about Wet. Alicia Dusku, I think is how you pronounce your name, was the voice actress. Yes, you could dual wield. You can do swords, guns. It was pretty cool. Acrobatics like Tony Hawk. But another thing you asked is why the game didn't sell well. Well, one of the main reasons why it didn't sell well is because when it came out, it was out going up against Batman Arkham Asylum. So right there, it tells you Batman Arkham Asylum had come out a couple of weeks before, so it had no chance to succeed. So anyway, just a little follow-up on that. Also, my question for you this week before I go is the last two generations, what would you say, in your opinion, did they go on too long? So last two generations, the generation before last was 7 years. The last generation, the one we just ended, I believe is 8. And I think Phil Spencer said that the Xbox is only going to go 5. So what do you think about that? Do you think the generations went on too long? You know, keep in mind, we did have those mid-generation upgrades, those 2.0s. And I guess a part B to that would be, do you think we should get the mid-grade upgrade this time around? I think that was a mistake. But tell me what you think. That's it for me. Talk to you next week. I'm out. Peace.
Shout out to you, Vaughn, my brother. Man, it is always fantastic to hear from you every week, man. I love the fact that you answer questions and ask questions. So, brother, thank you so much for being here, man. Now, let's get into your voicemail. Now, you asked me about my thoughts on Biomutant. Brother, I'm going to tell you one thing. The game is absolutely beautiful. That's one thing they have going for them. I know that the developer was saying they were aiming at Ratchet and Clank, and I said, "Oh man, whoa." I appreciate that you're trying to aim for the big dog, but I don't think you're gonna be extremely successful. And you know what? At the same time, though, I appreciated the confidence, Vaughn, that they said that's who they are trying to get at. The Ratchet and Clank fan base, they're trying to go up against Ratchet and Clank. And once again, like I said, Vaughn, man, beautiful graphics. I hear that it's the gameplay that really is bringing the score down of Biomutant. And because it's gameplay, this is the thing. Vaughn, I remember playing Mafia 3. Mafia 3 wasn't very well received. I think everybody would be in agreement that the story was amazing. It was awesome, which was, I guess, the catalyst that kept me going was the story. The graphics, oh man, graphically it wasn't hitting on much. And then the gameplay, that wasn't hitting on much either, Vaughn. And then top that off with all kinds of glitches in the game. Yeah, I could understand how it got average reviews, but the crazy thing about Mafia 3 for me was it was still a great game. Despite all of the problems that the game had, I still enjoyed it. So because of that, I've always kept that in mind when it comes to certain games that may not get great reviews, or Metacritic is, giving it a 67 or a 64. I still always go back to Mafia 3 and say, well, they said the same thing about that, and it was still a good game that I enjoyed. So if I can get Biomutant for, a little less, I probably will pick it up. But I am going to be interested to hear what you have to say about the game, Vaughn. So if you could call in again next week and let us know how the game was, brother, I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Now, the other thing you actually made a statement, because I was asking why didn't Wet do as, better than what it performed. And you brought up a very interesting point that I didn't even know was a thing, that Arkham Asylum, Batman, had released not too long before that game, or during the same time that Wet came out. I guess it was kind of like the situation with EA with Titanfall 2 releasing around the same time as, Call of Duty or Battlefield 5. Somewhere it was like two huge games that were released, and man, a title like Titanfall really didn't have a fighting chance as it were to be able to go up against that. So yeah, they kind of set themselves up like that with that. So hopefully, look, Bethesda's with Microsoft now. That would be dope. I would man, hold on. Could you imagine that, Vaughn? Could you imagine that Microsoft says, look, I don't know which studio was behind that. I don't know if it was the Dishonored team who actually was that Arcane Studios. I don't know if they were behind Wet or whoever it was. But if Microsoft said, look, man, go ahead and make a sequel. We need another female protagonist. I think they could have a hit, brother. That would be, hey, man. Hey, matter of fact, Vaughn, imagine this. What if that goes into Game Pass? It's possible. It's under the Bethesda banner. Listen, brother, this thing might get a resurgence. You never know. I know it's a long shot. I know it's probably not going to happen, but it has all of the makings to possibly be something in the near future. They put that into Game Pass. It starts to get some steam. People start saying, wow, I didn't even know this game was this good. And then all of a sudden you got people asking, wow, can we get a sequel? We know how Phil Spencer feels about sequels. Golly, no offense to the guy, no shade. Nah, man, that's shade. We needed a sunset. You know what, Vaughn? I ain't gonna do it, brother, because I gotta go to work in a little bit. But yeah, man, thank you for that piece of information about why the game didn't perform so well. And then you asked me, now this is the question that I am looking forward to answering, brother. You asked, did the last two generations go on too long? Brother, whoo, that's a good question. Now, I would say the 360 and the PS3 era, yeah, man, that thing was going on, 10 years? Actually, 2005 and then 2013? Yeah, man, 8 years, that's a long time. That's a long time, brother. Especially when, Vaughn, me and you, we come from the cloth where a generation lasted 5 years. There was no ifs, ands, and buts about it. By that year 4, you knew they were winding down. By the 5th year, you knew the next console was coming out. So here we're going into 8 years, 3 years over the length that we're used to. And then you're talking about last generation started in 13, ended in 20. So that's another 7. Brother, I gotta say, man, that's tricky. That's a tricky question, Vaughn, because brother, having these, I guess it's a double-edged sword, if you may, because on one side of it, PC, I remember during the 360 era, PCs weren't even on the same level. The 360 was smoking gaming PCs at that time. But because that generation lasted so long, PC came up and they surpassed consoles, never to look back. So I guess from a technological standpoint, as far as technology goes, it would be in their best, efforts to, maybe shorten it to 5 years. And like you said, Phil Spencer, he's saying that the Series XS generation is going to be 5 years, Vaughn. I'm not sure. I didn't hear that, brother. So you're telling me something completely different I didn't even know about. But if that's the case, then I think it's good. But at the same time, Vaughn, we've seen that with PlayStation 4, during that 7th year, 2 of the biggest games came out. Some people may not feel the same way, but in my opinion, greatest game ever made, The Last of Us Part 2, released, and we got Ghost of Tsushima in that last year, and graphically, golly, was there anything better graphically? So for the other side to it, to me, Vaughn, in my opinion, is you get the most out of the console if you let it just linger around for a couple of extra years. You get that extra amount of juice out of it that you might not have got out of it in 5 years versus 7. So because of that, I don't think it lasted too long because, man, we got a lot of benefits out of the console being on the market so long. But at the same time, technology-wise, it does kind of fall, a couple of years behind. So that's the double-edged sword of it, Vaughn. I don't know whether it did or not, brother. Like I said, on one side, it seems like it did, but on the other, nah, because we got some amazing games. But, and, oh, yeah, the other one you asked, keeping in mind that we did get mid-gen upgrades. That was a very, very good point, too. Man, brother, I do not want us to get mid-gen upgrades. I want these guys to work with what they have, give us what you got, and then when it's time to officially move on, you move on. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I absolutely hated the mid-gen upgrades, brother. I made it a point not to get them because I'm like, man, I'm not supporting this, even though I ain't gonna lie off. But I heard Red Dead Redemption was doing 4K, Red Dead 2. I was like, man, I'm starting to sweat a little bit. Beads of sweat, brother, came on my brow, man, thinking about that. But nah, I'm good. I mean, hopefully they'll just stick with the consoles that they have right now. PS5 is, golly, 3 times more powerful than the PlayStation 4, and we saw what kind of magic they were able to do with the PS4 with 1.6 or 1.8 teraflops, somewhere around there, and now the PS5 has 9.2. I mean, come on, good grief. Yeah, they should be fine. And Xbox with 12 teraflops. Yeah, just stay where you are. Work with what you got, and don't worry about coming out with any mid-gen upgrades. I don't think it's necessary, So, yeah, but Vaughn, brother, man, good questions, man. Really good questions. That did the generations last too long? I wish I could answer it better. But, for me, I think that, like I said, man, it lasting as long as it did, we got the benefits out of it. Whereas 5 years in and they cut it off, we don't really see the full potential of what the console could be able to do, because now today, man, it's games are just so much more expensive. So I guess these companies also have to maybe extend out the generations because they got to recoup the money. I get, that's probably a lame excuse. That might not even be the case. But it just seems like, when you let these consoles just sit there for a little while, let these developers really figure out the tools, as it were, Vaughn, the tools, brother. Oh, man, the tools have been infamous in this generation. But if you let them figure out, the best way to develop for the console, and you give them some time, we get those crazy kind of experiences like The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, brother. But man, Vaughn, I was so long-winded with your email, your voicemail, brother. My apologies, brother. But thank you so much, man, for always leaving your voicemails. It's really appreciated, brother. And hopefully I will hear from you. We'll hear from you next week, brother. Once again, shout out to Free Fly Ferret and Vaughn for being on the show this week, man. Truly, truly appreciate it. Brothers, I'm going to tell y'all, I was scrambling. I was like, well, nobody wrote in or called in. Hey, man, we going to have to wing it. So as a result, I actually wrote down some gaming news that's happening very, very soon. So first up, Epic Games, and this is amazing. Epic Games has released yet again another Unreal Engine 5 gameplay demo, but this time it's real gameplay being shown because one of the devs were literally controlling the action with a Xbox controller. That's right, you heard me, a Xbox controller. Now, it was the demo from last year entitled Valley of the Ancient, and it featured this is just a crazy polygon count. It had over 50 million polygons. Now, the demo is running at 30 frames per second on both Series X and PS5. I thought some people said the Series X wouldn't be able to handle it. Come on, man. Anyway, if you want to see this demo, just type in Unreal Engine 5 on YouTube. It'll take you to the breakdown. Jeff Keighley had the guys on there talking about it. And if you want to get an even more in-depth look into what they were talking about, Digital Foundry, they did a breakdown. But this is the thing, though, and this is what I was talking about, Vaughn. This kind of technology, and we know that, man, the coalition, they have already stated that they are moving over to Unreal Engine 5 because the DLC for Gears of War 5 is wrapping up. They're coming to the end and they're switching. And man, I can't imagine looking at that demo. Just please go over there to YouTube and check it out for yourself, because it was pretty much a 1-to-1 match of what they showed, golly, around this time last year on the PS5. I mean, the guy even said that they had taken actual footage of those mountains that they had in the game, and it was a pretty much 1-to-1 match. I forgot which state they took the pictures, and they had drones flying around, taking footage. They also had, regular pictures, video, and as a result, they were able to pretty much match it 1-to-1 with how it really looks in real life, and put that into, well, this demo that's not an official game, but, a demo just to show how powerful Unreal Engine 5 is going to be. So I'm excited. And this is the thing that I was saying, Vaughn, you let these guys cook, let them figure out Unreal Engine 5 and really take it as far as they can. Man, it could end up being something absolutely incredible. It already looks amazing as it is. So you give these guys time to cook with it. Be like cooking with gasoline, man. But up next, now speaking of cooking with gasoline, Sony is burning up the gaming streets right now, because tomorrow on May 27th, starting at 9 a.m. Pacific time, I guess that's 12 p.m. Eastern Standard, where I'm at, Sony will be showing off Horizon Forbidden West gameplay at their State of Play event. Now, they're saying that the State of Play event is going to be about 20 minutes, which to me makes me wonder, is the gameplay of Horizon gonna be roughly around 14 or 15 minutes? Because I'm sure they're gonna probably show some smaller games in between, and then at the end they're gonna show off Horizon Forbidden West. Does this mean this game is coming out this year? Can y'all fathom, imagine how insane that would be? Because it was talks that Horizon Forbidden West wasn't going to make it out this year. And granted, it still might not. But just the fact that they are going to show off, give or take, 14, 15 minutes of footage of this game, and this is before E3. I mean, imagine if this comes out, along with Ratchet and Clank already coming out, Returnal already out, and then Kena Bridge of Spirits is coming out. And then to make the smaller titles, just the in-between, the fillers, Sifu is coming out as well. And that game looks good. I ain't even going to lie. I'm picking that up. That is so many titles in their first year on the market. I ain't never seen Sony perform at this level. I mean, it took a couple of years, around like 2015, 2016, the PlayStation 4 shot off and just never looked back. I mean, it was just gone. But you're telling me that in the first year, possibly, because we don't know, Horizon might slip into 2021, but I'm thinking it's coming out this year, because why would you show it so early and even show it before E3 season even starts if it's not coming out this year? Which that leads me to the question of, what kind of E3 is Sony gonna have? What do they have up their sleeve where they feel comfortable enough to show off one of their biggest titles before E3 even starts. And then on top of that, during E3 week, you got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart coming. I mean, these cats right here. I mean, they are just throwing game. It's so many games. I wonder, can they keep pace? Can they keep this pace throughout the rest of the generation? This isn't even a year in. And they've given, or will have probably totaled, given around 6 AAA exclusive IPs before the end of their first year. That's unheard of. That your studios are clicking like that? That's insane. I mean, man, I don't know. Tomorrow is going to be special. I think it's going to be a movie. Tomorrow when Horizon Forbidden West is shown, I'm looking forward to it, man. May 27th, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And once again, at noon Eastern Standard Time. This is going to be wild. Anyway, up next, speaking of tomorrow, Techland is supposed to be showing something Dying Light 2 related on their Twitch channel at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Tomorrow's a pretty stacked day. I haven't really got into the first Dying Light. Heard it was great. A lot of parkour. Beautiful looking game. I heard it was fantastic. So I know a lot of people are looking forward to Dying Light 2. I wouldn't mind seeing what they have, what they have planned. Now, whether or not this is going to be gameplay, whether or not this is going to be a dev diary or what, I don't know. I mean, who knows? They might even talk about the release date at this thing. But just tune in once again. Man, I guess, hey, you're going to have to figure out. Oh, no. That's Pacific time. I was about to say you might have to choose between one of the other, Horizon Forbidden West or Dying Light. But no, they're both premiering at 2 different times. But the last thing now, this one you will have to decide which one you want to see. Do you want to see Horizon Forbidden West, or do you want to see or hear about this Sonic the Hedgehog event, which is going to celebrate Sonic's 30th anniversary, which is happening, like I said, again, at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So, which, again, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, I ain't going to lie, Sonic, you my guy and all, you cool. I like you, Sonic, but I am going to be looking at Aloy. Oh, yes, I'm going to be tuned in and seeing what the world's going on with Horizon Forbidden West. Anyway, guys, that is the end of this episode. I cannot believe we are 37 minutes in. This is insane. Brothers, I thought this was going to be about a good 20-minute show. But yeah, we almost got 40 minutes out of this bad boy. So, with that being said, man, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. But as always, get out there, play some games. And we will be back at it Sunday. We're going to have some stuff to talk about on Sunday. I can't wait to talk about Horizon Forbidden West, whether it was great or whether it wasn't. We'll have some things to talk about. I have nothing written down outside of Horizon. I don't know what the world we're going to be talking about, but we'll figure it out when we get there. But let's go ahead. Let's get on out of here. Get out there, play some games, and enjoy yourself.